It's Thursday night. It says we are live. I am here. You are there. I, of course, am GotBot, and this is GotBot Goes Live. I know I messed that up a little bit. Honestly, I'm here. You're beautiful. It's time for GotBot Goes Live. There you go. Right there's the old fashioned. I, of course, am your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, please like, comment, share, of course, subscribe, and while you are at it, light them up, baby, and hit that notification bell, as it helps me out a ton and it lets you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, the Everything Factor, all the groups that I'm a mod or an admin for, as well as all of my social media links, all that in the description down below. I think I might be feeling the effects of getting sunburned, which is why, well, it's definitely why I sort of
like a tomato and match your shirt?
no, that had nothing to do with it. It's why I'm totally messed up the opening.
Oh.
I completely messed up the opening.
Well, you don't look red on this.
I don't, but I think it's because I'm wearing a red shirt. But trust me, I'm pretty red. Yesterday it was sports day at work, which meant the kids were outside all day and I was outside. And I really didn't think ahead because in the morning it was like overcast and foggy and cold. And I was like, I don't know about the sports day stuff, but it got warm and we were outside. And I was like, you know what, man, I'm not prepared for this. And I got sunburned. So I think I'm feeling the effects, but man, this is going to be a good time. We got a ton of kind of news and leaks and reveals and things that have been shown over the last week. We're going to talk a little bit about Rise of the Beast. We have a couple of things here for the old unboxing time. We're going to do trivia, of course. I'm so glad that you guys are here. I'm just going to get things kind of set up here. I hope you guys are having a tremendous week. And let's get this over here and set up. Okay. Hey, Tetra. Hey, Sovereign. No working late night. Glad to hear it, buddy. Hey, Joel. What? Hi, all. Hope you had a good day. Mine is done or just starting. Not sure. That sounds like you've had a busy day, buddy. Hey, Jay. Speaking in some chat sometime, though, at work. Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. Hey, Deceptibot. Hey, Marcus. Perhaps a dog. I like that. Yeah, I'll survive. It's thrown me for a little bit of a loop. So if I seem a little, I don't want to say loopy tonight, but if I seem a little more loopy than usual, you'll know why it is. One more year and you'll be over the hill, the big 5-0. Bro, I am 45 and I have been over the hill for a good 10 years. I am not going to age gracefully at all. I'm going to be one of those guys that's like 16. Everybody's going to think I'm like 87. Guaranteed. Actually, yeah, there is a lot to talk about this stream because there's a lot has been revealed and shown and stuff this week. It's really wild how much, actually. I'm not going to waste, which means I'm going to give you guys the warning now. I'm going to be skipping over a lot of the chat, largely because I have to, because there's so much to cover. Hey, Ken. Hey, Caldeo. Other than sunburn, I guess I'm doing all right. Picked up Armada Megatron. Hate the series, but the figure is pretty darn good. Yeah, I saw that, Jay, that you picked them up. I've seen one or two reviews on it, and like it looks pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I do think that the articulation is definitely an improvement over the original. I mean, I think I would prefer it over the original. Don't get me wrong, the original is bigger and it's chunkier, but like as much as I enjoy the original, because I did review the Galvatron of it, as much as I enjoy the original, honestly, its articulation limitations were a real hindrance to me with it. Real hindrance. But I do love the articulation and whatnot of the new one from what I've seen. It's not for me, but I'm so glad that it turned out what seems to be well. And I'm so glad that people are getting really one that is a nice homage, because he looks really good, is a nice homage with better added articulation. Though I have heard that the, I guess, shoulder pylons are somewhat loose. I don't know if that's true or not. Hey, Dragonfly. Hey, Grimlock Gun. By the way, hi, Ultra Megatronus, if I didn't say it, buddy. Hey, Blue. Waspinator. Also got the new Armada Megatron. Love it. Can't wait for Commander Armada Optimus. That's cool. I'm glad that you're happy with it, man. Didn't the original Armada Megatron not have knees? I can't recall now if it had knees or not, but I felt like there were limitations with the arms, maybe. I can't recall now. I'd have to go back. I might be down for it if there's a Mega Zarak version of it. I mean, was that used for Mega Zarak? I don't know. I got to be honest with you. I don't know jack. None of it sticks with me for Unicron Trilogy. Characters don't. Their history don't. None of it sticks with me at all. Like enough that I really can't have an intelligent conversation about it. I really want that Armada Optimus. My Megatron should be coming too, but I can't see it beating my Fans Hobby version. Fair point. That Fans Hobby one's impressive. It was a con exclusive. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. It's great that Hasbro's finally doing non-G1 designs a bit. I agree. It is. I think that we've had so many G1 updates that like the definitive one's got to be out there. If you don't have like a definitive Optimus in your collection at this point, then there's something wrong. You're never going to be pleased because there's a number of them out there. And it's to a point where there's something for everyone in terms of G1. I mean, I guess if you hunt hard enough, official, third party, whatnot, same goes for like Megatron and stuff, though he might be a bit more challenging to get. And for anybody saying, I want that Walther P38, you're not going to get it. Just give it up. You know, and I know you're not going to get it. It's just the way of the world. So moving on and moving past that to RID, to Unicron Trilogy, even if it's not my thing, it doesn't have to be. I'm so happy. I'm seeing people so. It's funny because I'm such a like cranky curmudgeon. Like everybody knows that. And I feel like now everybody else is the cranky curmudgeon because a lot of people are like, I don't like that Optimus. It doesn't look G1. I don't like that Megatron. He doesn't look like the one from the G1 card. And it's like, guys, there's other things outside G1. Be happy for other people finally getting their chance. So I'm really happy to see it, honestly, perhaps, dog. I think it's great. No hate for the G1 fans, but for us younger fans of the series, it's yes, absolutely. And there was a time, I would say 6 or 7 years ago, where I said, I don't think that they're going to do Unicron Trilogy stuff to any great degree yet because your younger generation just wasn't at that point old enough to have the disposable income. It was just pure math. But now you're getting there. Now you're getting to that point where the nostalgia can really kick in for you younger guys. You're getting to a point where you're starting to have a little bit more disposable income and whatnot. And it's really going to speak to you. Now, there are people that just enjoy transforming robots. Cool. If it speaks to them, get it. Go for it. But I agree. Honestly, I'm happy to see it for all other collectors, honestly. Do you bet the 86 Springer will be a modified Siege in Buzzworthy? I'm not going to speculate on that at all, but we'll talk about it in a bit. Has a lot of older figure. Ninja Bill has a lot of older ones that I never got. I'm envious, but glad he shows them off. Yeah, he does have a lot of older stuff. NVR Optimus Prime is nice. Wouldn't know. I literally don't have a clue how to buy it or where it is, or I heard the announcement and that's the last I ever knew of it. Apparently Toy Snowman had a couple and sold out, and that was it. That's literally the only place I've heard of that's being sold. So I wouldn't know, Marcus. I really wouldn't know. I heard the announcement. I heard that apparently Toy Snowman had a couple and sold out like that, and I haven't heard anything about it since. I don't know if it'll be a new mold now, Jay, because their leaders are, let's be realistic, they're only Voyagers. Their leaders aren't leaders anymore. They're Voyagers. But it will be a new mold. I agree with Jay. It will be a new mold. I don't think it's going to be any better than the Siege. It's not going to be better than the T30. It just can't be because that's splendid. It could be good, but I'm not getting it. I can tell you now, I'm not getting the Springer. If for no other reason, then I haven't enjoyed any of the triple changes they've done. I didn't at all enjoy Blitzwing. He was gone like that. I didn't enjoy Astro Train. He was gone like that. I don't think either of them were good. I don't think either of them were engineered well. I don't think either of them were fun. And I don't think either of them were priced correctly. It wasn't for me. And after trying 2 times with it, I realized it's not for me. If you love it, cool, man. Go for it. Get Springer. But I've been burned enough by these new ones that I don't think are very good, and I prefer the older ones. That I'm not going to waste my time with Springer. If I get a chance to review it, cool. But I'm not getting it. I just can't. MMC Optimus. Promenon is my favorite Optimus. See, there you go. Like the MMC Optimus. Yeah, why not? Why not? He's fantastic. You're probably right, Jay, but these are. Hold on. I missed something there. Sup, Big M? Did see his Rise of the Beasts Optimus review, and it's the keto version of SS38 Prime with some transformation similarities. I don't know what you're talking about. My prediction is Studio Springer will be the Siege with the catapult launcher. Oh, that'd be interesting. That being said, there's precedent for that because they did the exact same thing with Coronation Starscream, basically, right? There will never be a Gun Megatron ever again. No, there won't. Hey, BS Prime. Doing all right, buddy. Hey, Underground Central. Yes, sir, I am from Newfoundland. Today's the wife and I 14-year anniversary. Oh, well, happy anniversary to you and your wife, Dragonfly. Our anniversary is coming up soon, as is the anniversary of the show. Triple changers are not leader class. They're Voyager, and they shouldn't be wall breakers. Leader class equals Voyager with stuff. It does, but... And it's not all leader class, but it's the triple changer leader class. Like, I think the Astro Train was more successful than the Blitzwing. And I think the Astro Train, I think you could make an argument for it better than you can the Blitzwing. But the Blitzwing, I didn't like the tank, and it wasn't accurate. I didn't like the robot, and it was so wildly back heavy. And I detested the plane. It wasn't for me. I prefer the Titans Return for both of those triple changers. And I know the Titans Return got their issues too, but I still think the overall package for what it costs, I think the Titans Return is still what works best for me. Throwing 30 Springer is enough for me. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, I'm going to go on. I know I've skipped some stuff, but we got a bunch of news to get through, and we're going to do it at a somewhat breakneck pace. Let's get going. First things first, June the 20th, we're having our next fan stream where they will be revealing some new, apparently, products for Rise of the Beast, as well as Legacy Evolution. A lot of people have been making a lot of hopes about what this will be. We have not heard anything thus far, and surprisingly, no actual leaks of what's likely to be shown here yet. Though I won't lie, I fully expect that come tomorrow and over the weekend, those leaks will come before the 20th. But they're just not quite there as of this show right now. The Bumblebee face variant, where he has the darker silver and it's like all around his eyes and his lower face, is out in the US. It's funny enough, I said, I think last week, that the only version I've seen is the variant version until yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Maybe it was the day before last. And I went to a store, and lo and behold, I saw the original version where he has the yellow around his eyes and the lighter silver. And I'm like, oh, yeah, it is quite different. So both of them are kicking around in my neck of the woods, or they were. I don't know if they still are. Were kicking around my neck of the woods. As for the US, they're starting to show up there. So if you want the face variant Bumblebee, which I will say I think is the better paint job, then pick it up, I guess. 40th anniversary. This is very interesting. We know the 40th anniversary is coming up next year for Transformers. And basically, they're going to, for the first time, this was at the licensing expo. For the first time, they're going to be giving the 3D model files for the G1 figures for reissues for original products. So I would expect that in 2024, we're going to get a lot of licensed third-party products based on, I'm thinking, the original plastic, the original figures. Will they transform? Won't they transform? What will these homages be? I don't know, but I feel like they're planning for 2024 to be a big celebration really of Transformers lore. And I mean, the 40th anniversary is nothing to laugh at. That's a long time these robots having this war. I'm just saying. What else do we have? Bumblebee and Blades Rescue Bots Space 2-pack. It's like a space Bumblebee and a space Blades. If you're into, I guess, rescue bots, then cool. I mean, why not? Why not? Personally, lately, I found myself very much into Rise of the Beasts. And wouldn't you know it, we already have pre-orders that are getting ready to go up, if not already up, for the 4K, UHD, Blu-ray, DVD, all of these pre-orders up. I have heard that some places have the date as early as mid-July. I have not actually seen that in print. The printed for when this stuff should come out is September, which would seem about right following a theatrical release running through the course of the summer. November or September release seems about right, just in time for the holidays. Cross Studio. They are doing 10, basically a 10-piece central floating tour on watch for Rise of the Beast. Basically, they're putting out timepieces, high-end timepieces, with detailing and designs very much inspired by Rise of the Beast, especially things like the circle, and you got the green, and you got what looks like the living in the jungle, and like all of these kind of green and metallic-y colors are incorporated into the timepieces. Plus, there's one timepiece that seems to be really within Airazor, for lack of a better term, or certainly within the something that's reminiscent of the artifact, I guess, that Elena ends up breaking apart, right? And there's a timepiece in that. So if you're into timepieces and you're into like collecting watches and stuff, Cross Studio is doing 10 apparently for a crossover with Rise of the Beasts. Hey, remember that minor Megatron and Ratbat? We have now seen a couple of images, in hand images of them. I think the Ratbat looks really good. The head sculpt on that is exceptionally nice. I love the look of the cool kind of graphite gunmetal gray that's on the Megatron. Neither of them are for me. I'm not an IDW guy. I'm not a comics guy. So they're not for me, but I absolutely completely respect the people that they are for, and I think you're going to be in for a treat. I think they're two good molds, and I think these are two really nice looks for them if that's what you're into. We also saw some images of G2 or Toxitron G2 cloud cover. Man, oh man, what a neat looking Seeker. I don't know why they went with the like pixelated sky on him, but whatever. Very neat looking cone head, very unique look on a Seeker as well. If I see him, I think I'm in for him. But again, I don't think I'm going to put in a pre-order. It's just if I see it on the shelf and I'm inclined, then I might. We'll see. What else do we have? Let's talk a little bit about the comics, the new comics, if you will. We know now that Transformers is going to be part of the Skybound imprint under Image Comics. I love Image Comics. Love Eric Larson. Love really all the guys that started Image, because when they worked like for Marvel and stuff, I was a huge fan of them all. And then when they basically decided they were going to splinter off and make Image Comics, I mean, the first 6 or 7 titles that they had, like I pretty much followed all of them. Like I think, like take Spawn. Everybody knows Spawn, right? Because Spawn is like it was like their flagship title. And I think I got like issues 1 to about 75 of Spawn. So like, that's just one example, of course, right? I also liked Impact Comics. Anybody remember Impact Comics? They were great. They had some pretty good ones too. But not only are they under that imprint, but things are already kicked off, because as of the 14th, which was yesterday, as of the 14th, they have released Void Rivals #1, which is the start of basically the kickoff to their Transformers G.I. Joe shared universe. Transformers 1, simply called Transformers. Transformers 1 will be due out in October. Duke 1 will be due out in December. And this one's very interesting to me. Cobra Commander 1 will be due out in January. Not much else to say about it than that, honestly. We also saw the first art, I suppose, of Optimus Prime. It looks all right. I like the look and the angles of the head. I like the look and the angles of the chest. I absolutely detest that he has 2 white Autobot symbols on his shoulders. No, he should have one regular red Autobot symbol on one shoulder. I think it's the left one, but I'm not sure right now without going back and looking. I don't, it bugs. It was the same thing with the Hallmark Christmas keepsake ornament last year. Loved it. Thought it was beautiful. Detested the 2 black Autobot symbols on his shoulders. That's not the way it's supposed to be. Just saying. Cartoon is king. Just saying. But other than that, I think the overall like look and modeling of it looks all right for a first image. We'll see how it goes. I just hope that they do better. Now they have said there have been interviews, and like Kirkman said, for example, that this is going to be a slow burn, right? You're going to see characters introduced. They're going to be introduced logically, slowly. You may be thinking to yourself, oh, this name has been dropped or hinted at now a number of times. When are they going to show? When are they going to show? And then boom, finally they will show. So you have to be, by the sounds of it, it sounds like you're going to have to be in for long-term storytelling. If you're not, which I think a lot of people aren't, and we'll get to that in a bit. If you're not into long-term storytelling, don't even start this because it's not going to be for you, I don't think. You have to be patient. The answers in the story will unfold, but let it do it in its own time. If you try to rush it, it's going to be sloppy. It's going to be bad. It's going to be janky. It's going to be clunky. It's going to be IDW. Sorry, I know a lot of people love it, but their storytelling's awful. I'm so glad that company doesn't have it anymore. And it's not just Transformers. I've tried a few of their other titles. It's not a company for me. It's just not a company for me. Friday, June 9th. So last Friday. If you wanted some art, you could put in a pre-order at the More Art Gallery, if you will. You could pre-order work done by Vincent Aseo, and it's really super limited. You could get the, hold on, let me make sure that I'm saying this to you right. You could get the Beast Wars regular print. There are 75 of those prints, 16 by 24. So a good size, big size. Or you could get the Beast Wars Predacon edition. And that one is 50 prints of 11 by 17. Very rectangular-y. I mean, they look good. They had pictures of the prints. I think it was on TFW. Might have been T-Formers. Might have been both. And like they look good. If you're an art collector or you really love the Predacons especially, it's very much like Megatron, and you see the other Predacon heads kind of around him. And I think he might be holding the Maximals in his hand, or they're like in front of him or something like that. It's beautiful artwork. It really is a ton of detail in there, no doubt. Lorenzo de Bonaventura, he is already excited. And I would venture to say very, confident, I guess, in Transformers 1. And he did an interview with Collider where basically he said, you know, sometimes with films you get a feel for if things are going right or going wrong. And I feel like things are going right here. Now, does he have any sense? Does he know what he's talking about? Is he just talking smack? I don't know. But a lot of people were very happy with that first 5 minutes of Bumblebee. Will this be like that? I don't know. I don't think we're going to get a whole film like that. But if we do, man, what a visual spectacle that could be. I'd be interested to see how this kind of pans out. But I think there's going to have to be a lot of story here and a lot of character development explicitly for Orion / Optimus and Megatron. I think it's just going to have to go that way. We shall see as time goes, but it's nice to know that work is progressing on it. It's nice to know that there's confidence behind it. Next September, by the way, 2024. That's when, or a year from September, I guess I should say. That's when we get Transformers 1. And I, for one, am already excited about it. Tokyo Toy Show showed off a whole bunch of stuff over, I guess, the weekend, really. And I just want to make sure of what I'm telling you here. Hold on. Yeah. And they showed off like a lot of the products really that we've already seen, to be perfectly honest with you, and seen images of. Now we've seen them actually in plastic. I think one of the more surprising ones for me was the Titan Nemesis. When you see it next to the Commander class Armada Optimus Prime, and that's big. He's a big boy, but when you see it next to that, you get an appreciation for just how tall she really is. Still feel like she's skinny and sort of lanky, but she's definitely tall, which in and of itself, I suppose, is impressive. But it was confirmed there that we are going to be getting MP Rhinox. It was also addressed or asked there about the end of like finishing the rest of G1, I assume in the MP line. And it was like, that's been sort of like the call or blocked by like higher ups at Takara for whatever weird reason. So MP Rhinox coming down the pike at some point now. Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? I don't know, because a lot of people got the original Rhinox and they're like, he's okay. A lot of people got the Generations one and like it, but said, well, those hips are really loose. A lot of people got the Kingdom one and was like, yeah, I don't like this. A lot of people seem to like the Rise of the Beast one, which I saw in store. I haven't picked it up. I'll tell you that now, but I did see it in store. And we have an interesting little note that I'm very, very happy with. So originally, the Prime and the Primal Voyagers, when they came out, were retailing for $49.99, a few dollars higher than what Voyager has been. Well, guess what? I go back, I see that Rhinox, who is still there with Primal and Prime, and now magically, at least in Walmart, the prices dropped to $39.99. Yeah, you should be dropping your prices. Sorry, but $39.99 is a far more accurate price for that. I would venture to say you should drop it a bit more, $29.99. That's a good Voyager price. Just saying, even $34.99. But like people like that Rhinox. I feel like the history of design with Rhinox is somewhat spotty. Will the masterpiece live up to hype? I don't know. But I'll tell you this, if you're in for the Beast Wars masterpieces, I don't think that they've been done by anyone else. I think that like if you want a Rhinox, this is going to be the Rhinox that you're going to have to get. We'll see how it goes, right? Because again, those MPs have been iffy, right? There's been good and bad with those too. Speaking of Beast Wars, saw the next Versus pack, and it's going to be Core Class Rat Trap and the, I guess, Deluxe Class Pterosaur. Now, we have had the Deluxe Class Pterosaur really outside of Japan in a couple of ways on Amazon, which was certainly closer to his animation accurate model. A lot of red for the base with silver highlights. I do think that there should have been some more silver, certainly on like the thighs, for example. And there's a couple of spots where there should have been black, certainly on the shoulders. The Rat Trap definitely should have had more paint on him, especially on the arms. Some gold highlights for sure. A little bit more detail on the head. So now enter the Versus pack. The Rat Trap has a few more highlights on him, but he's definitely not the star. The star is definitely the Pterosaur here. And this Pterosaur, unlike the Amazon one, or unlike the Buzzworthy one, which is really more of a like homage to his coloration of his original toy with the blues and the reds and the greens, this one is going for about as animation accurate as you could possibly get with it. But I don't know if it really succeeds completely. I feel like there's almost a little bit too much black, and we're still missing it on the shoulders, and his whole torso being gray. I think I like the silver highlights on the torso rather than the whole torso being gray with just that section on his chest. But I get what they're going for. I do like that he has gray thighs rather than red thighs. So I think it is definitely a little bit better. Again, I have the Amazon one. If I had the Buzzworthy one, I might double dip. But where I have the Amazon one, I don't think I need to double dip bad enough to get this. But I'm not going to lie, man. If you held off or you saw the Kingdom ones and were thinking to yourself, it's not quite right for how I remember Beast Wars. I don't think I quite want it. They're knocking it at the ballpark with these Beast Wars Versus packs, knocking it right out of the animation accuracy ballpark. Armada Megatron out in the US, we already kind of talked about him. Super 7 Shogun Megatron. We saw some images of that. This thing stands 24 inches or 61 centimeters. It has a removable fusion cannon. It has a button for that fist or his other fist. And it has wheels in the feet, but other than that, like no real articulation or anything. These were huge in the 70s, apparently. I see it. I hear how gigantic it is, and I think to myself, who's buying this? How much is this? Like around here, for example, the Super 7 Ultimates are about $75 plus tax. Expensive for something that doesn't transform, even though it's big and bulky. I don't know what the price is on this, but I immediately see it and think to myself, why? It looks like a good Megatron, but like the spring-loaded fist, the fusion cannon moves. I guess he has wheels in his feet because he has no articulation to walk. I don't know. I don't know. If it's for you, cool. But this is one of those products where I'm left scratching my head and wondering why does this exist? I don't really know why this exists. That's what I'm saying there. Cang Toys, they showed off their mini Rampage, basically. I can't remember the name now. It's like I don't know, feline mini or something. But it looks really good next to their masterpiece version of Rampage. I think Rampage is one of their most successful adaptations. The cat is the cat looks like a cat. In the robot mode, other than the kind of spiky front skirt piece, pretty much looks like Rampage. Like I think it's a successful one, whether we go with the MP or now whether we go with the small one. Admittedly, the Legends one is only like a grayscale yet, so I'd like to see the colors a bit more. But when I saw it, I immediately knew, oh, that's Rampage, right? I didn't need to look it up or anything like that. I knew that it was Rampage. So it's recognizable, which I like. Icon Heroes, their Optimus Prime and Megatron bobbleheads are going to be available at SDCC. So if you like bobbleheads, you can get like a 2-pack, I think, of Optimus Prime and Megatron. They're going to be about 8 inches, I believe. So they're fairly large. And I like that Optimus has like an heroic pose. And that heroic pose is like his axe down and him holding his blaster. Megatron has a sinister pose. And the Megatron sinister pose is like his fusion cannon down by his side and like his fist up. It's the exact same pose mirrored. It's the same thing, except the Optimus has his ion blaster and his axe, and the Megatron doesn't. Other than that, like the positioning is like the same thing mirrored. I don't know. Facing to the left is sinister, I guess. Facing to the right is heroic. I don't know. It was the weirdest thing. Taxodron G2 Dead End, the red and blue lad with the kind of puke green face. We've seen images of it, and I've always thought that while I'm iffy on the G2 Stunticons, I've always thought that the G2 Dead End looks brilliant. I think that those colors should have been his actual colors because honestly, I think it kind of looks better. The only thing that I don't like about G2 Dead End is the gigantic G2 Decepticon logo on his hood that I'm not a fan of the design of. I prefer the G1 design, and I don't think I'd want it slathered all over his hood. That's not exactly in disguise. Just throwing it out there. But if you're into it and you're into the Toxitron stuff and you like that Dead End enough that you want more of them, here you go. And before I check in with you guys, which I'm going to do very shortly, we have a crossover of Rise of the Beast with Lao Lao, I think it is. It's a crossover being done in Malaysia where basically you can get these like little chibi figurines with whatever Lao Lao is, ice cream, frozen yogurt. I don't know. It looks like ice cream to me. I don't know what it is, but it's some sort of food. If somebody here knows what that is, like let me know. It's some sort of food, and you can get a little chibi figurine with it if that's your thing. Little Rise of the Beast, little cute, adorable little chibi Rise of the Beast figurine. Let's check in with you guys, shall we? See what you guys are saying before we move on, because I know I was saying a lot there. As we go up here. Let's see. I think it was about here. Mike says, I love the Siege Springer. Have no interest in a new version. Would rather we get a Sandstorm. Sandstorm's coming too, for the record. But again, the Sandstorm I have is the one from Thrilling 30. And I know that it's stylized because I know he's a VTOL instead of a helicopter and stuff. But like, it's so good. It's so brilliant. As for the Springer, like I took all of the battle junk off of him and I painted the yellow. Like, he's about a G1 as you can get at this point because I done the customization work on him, right? Stick with the Thrilling 30 Springer. I get it. I 100% agree and support that. The comparison with Bumblebee movie, Optimus Prime, and the Rise of the Beast Optimus Prime. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the Bumblebee Optimus Prime looked a bit better, I think, than the Rise of the Beast one. Oh, you're from Newfoundland too. There you go, Central. Are you in Central? I'm just curious now. I saw you posting this Newfoundland Transformers group. Yeah, yeah, I know it. I know it well. I'm one of the admins for that group. I didn't start it though. Costa started it, and then one day he was like, "Hey, you want to be an admin? You're always posting stuff." I'm like, sure. Do I have to do anything?" He's like, "Not really," and I haven't done anything. I'm just saying, just saying. Hey, look at that, Big M. I appreciate it, buddy. By the way, for people who are channel members, who are patrons, I recently did a kind of an in-depth discussion of the aligned continuity and what it is and what's included in it and how it works and how it doesn't work. It was pretty interesting. I got a few more ideas coming up there as well. So good time to jump on, Big M, honestly, buddy. I like Siege Springer, but I hate transforming him. Siege Springer to transform, he takes, how can I put this? You got to get used to it with him because you're right. He can be frustrating. To be fair, though, he's no more frustrating than that Astro Train or that Blitzwing. So do I think that they'll do a better version? I don't know. We'll see. But I will say this. I also didn't like his two swords that were his helicopter rotors. So I actually, really almost by accident, ended up with an extra sword rotor thing for the Thrilling 30 Springer. And I was like, I have an extra of these. So I gave it to the Siege Springer. And I think that works way better for my taste, for my needs. I really have no desire for an 86 Springer since I'm happy with the Siege version. I mean, to each their own, right? Thrilling 30. I'm just happy that Springer has some versions that are good of himself, to be honest with you. Some guys, some characters struggle forever to get a good version. Congratulations to Man Wives. That's nice. As we go down here. Remember, guys, I'm skipping stuff because I'm trying to really stay on track here. The reissue thing. Let's talk about the reissue thing for a moment. So we're getting a Perceptor. Fun fact, the only time I've ever seen anything with G1 Perceptor was an incomplete one that I saw at Value Village, which is like a thrift store here. Saw one in bag. I can't remember what he was missing, but I was like, it's obviously Perceptor, but he was missing something. It might have even been a scope. But that was the only time that I ever saw one. Now, this new one, of course, is going to look more like the cartoon than it's going to look like Perceptor. I think it still has the like toy accurate like face, the one that like the Selects Magnificus has, rather than a Perceptor face. But the colors are very much Perceptor's animation colors. Like if you know the coloration of, say, Studio Series 86 Perceptor, then you're going to know the coloration of the Retro Perceptor. And funny enough, a lot of people have said, I've never, ever had a Perceptor. I'm going to get this one. He seems like he's going to be a very popular reissue. We'll see. We'll see as it goes, right? But that being said, I agree with Jay. Reissues don't sell well they don't here. I mean, if I wanted to go now and get a Hot Rod and a Starscream and a Thundercracker and a Hound, I could go and get all four of those like that. I don't want them. And I think the reason I don't want them, I loved them when I was 5, 6, even though I didn't like their articulation limits and stuff. It's just, why would I want this reissue of Hound now in animation colors when we have the Classics Hound, when we have the Siege Hound, when we have the upcoming Buzzworthy Hound? Like, there's just better versions of the guy out there. Why would you go back? And now some people will. And if you are one of those people and you say to yourself, hey, I just love the simplicity of what they were originally, go for it. Go for it. I'm not telling you not to. It's just for me, because we have better and newer that I think embodies the character better, that works for me. But your collecting habits might be very different. What we need is an original G1 Ratchet. I wonder if that would even sell. Let's see. 10, love my wife, and for 20 years she has been such a wonderful wife, putting up with a lot of my insanity. Hence, this poor woman putting up with me for the last almost 20 years. That's awesome. So I'm at 30 star screams at a Walmart in Jersey. Yeah, there you go, right? As we go down here just a little bit. I used to watch Rescue Bots with my younger cousins. Blades was always one of my favorites. Def gonna pick it up. There you go. Honestly, I love Rescue Bots. I got into it a few summers ago, and I was like, what a cute little show. This is just a fun watch. And like, I might be, I don't know, like filming stuff for stop motion or something like that. And it was like, I'm going to put on some Rescue Bots in the background. It was great. 23 years with your wife. That's awesome, man. That's fantastic. Rise of the Beast is the best action movie so far. Look, we're going to talk about that in a little bit, Jay, but I'm 100% in agreement. I'm into Patient Watch. Yes, sir. So excited for those IDW packs. Those in-hand images of Megatron and Rat-Bat look so good. Listen, the stock photography doesn't do the Megatron, the Rat-Bat, Rat-Bat justice. They look so much better with the in-hand stuff. Getting some minor lag too. Has fixed itself up for you too. No lag here, not for me anyway. Hey, Timmy. Any women that deals with our nonsense is very special. It's fair. Spawn was awesome. I still have number 1 sealed up. Yeah. Oh yeah. Everything I got is in the long boxes and in bags with a little piece of paper basically that has what the last value was the last time I done up my collection's value, which was a long time ago. Too long ago. Milestone comics are pretty good. I've heard of Milestone comics. I'm a big fan of Kirkman and Skybound imprint. I think TF's in good hands. I agree with you, honestly. I think Image will do what? I think Image Comics will continue after IDW. Well, no, they're totally restarting from the ground up. Like they explicitly said we're restarting from the ground up. Tracks, cars, or both? Both. Let's see. Hey, Warren. Don't worry about being late, buddy. I'm lucky I have a store to myself every morning. Yeah, Jay's a magician. Hey, Anthony. Yeah, that's all right. You enjoy your dinner, buddy. Hey, Caldio. I didn't say it earlier. The Nemesis is a gal. Yeah, it's the first female. That's her whole shtick. She's the first female Titan. Yeah, she's gonna be the first female Titan. As much as I'll hate the price, I do want the Nemesis. And if it's a female Titan, she will sell. Maybe. If they drop the price to mainline Rise of the Beast Voyager Prime, I might get it 35 US. But that thing is highway robbery. I agree. 39 Canadian. I think it's much better. I'm going to say something controversial about the Rise of the Beast Rhinox. It just seems like an overly simplified transformation, which isn't bad, but it just isn't really for me. Now, keep in mind, as you say that about that Rhinox, that there is the Studio Series version that is also coming. So that might have a more intricate transformation for you, right? Pretty close to finishing the G1 line with Masterpiece. No, they're not. They're not remotely close. Not even slightly close. Like none of season 3 has been done. And I don't think the Insecticons have been done. The only combiner that they've done is Raiden. So no, I can't agree with that, Caldeo. They're a far, 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 far away from finishing Masterpiece with the G1 characters. Very far away. Like I would say there's a few hundred left to do. Anybody's feed skipping? I can't help you if it's skipping. I don't know. It must be your internet. I mean, I'm able to see myself here. And it's been fine. As we go down here. I don't know. I don't know why it would be skipping. I mean, even although no, it's overcast now. I don't know. Maybe it's the weather moving in. I don't know. I only have the Arc. Yeah, I got a ton of those. I'll take Vulcan Salute as acceptable. Okay. I'll take a Vulcan Salute as acceptable. Again, I'm going down here, guys, so bear with me. As we go down here a bit. Hey, DF. Be the man for a woman you married. Okay. Hey, Joe. You're not skipping here. Okay, well, good. I don't know. I don't know why it's happening to you guys. I'd say I'm sorry, but I wouldn't know how to fix it. All right, let's try and get through the rest of this as quickly as we can. So, Tang Shifu, I hope I'm saying that right, of China is making copper statues, which I think is very interesting. And they're going to come in two sizes, big and small, of Optimus Prime Bumblebee, Optimus Primal, Rhinox, Cheetor, and Eraser. Now, the beasts are all in beast mode. The Optimus and the Bee are in robot mode. Gorgeous paint. Like they're not just like copper and they look copper. Like they're fully painted head to toe, top to bottom. Gorgeous statues if you're into statues. And I would suspect fairly heavy. They're quite large. And I mean, they're made of copper. So I would expect it would have some heft and weight to it. Great bookends, paperweight. I don't know. Rise of the Beast concept art that was shared, and it really showed the kind of. If you know the studio series Scourge, who I reviewed on Tuesday, then you know that his head is based on concept art. Well, the concept art here, when you look at the studio series, you're like, that's definitely more the head that they used. By the way, there is an upgrade kit available to replace the head and studio series Scourge with a more animation accurate head and neck. And I think there are parts for the legs as well. The link was sent to me, and it's a great looking head sculpt. But I think for the head and the like couple of leg pieces, I think it's like 25 US plus whatever the shipping is. So it's a bit hefty for a couple of leg pieces, leg filler pieces, and a head. But it's up to you, I guess. I personally love the look of the Studio Series head. I know it's not quite accurate, as I discussed in the review, but man, oh man, oh man, how sinister and frightening is it? Love that guy. Such a great character and such great characterization for the Terracons. I've heard some people criticize, say the Terracons had no character. Are you on crack? I mean, that's the only thing I can ask, because Scourge in particular had a ton. If I was to describe Battletrap, I would say Battletrap is a brute and a grunt who believes that his ability is better than what it is. And that was his ultimate downfall, if you ask me. And then you have Nightbird, who, again, in G1, she didn't say a word. As far as we know, she couldn't speak. The best she had was mad eyes at the end of the episode. This one actually speaks, and she is grumpy. But she also very much like chides and mocks her foes, which again is kind of her downfall, because you can only be made fun of so long before it's going to do you in. So I would say great characterization. But the concept art looked really cool. Goat Crew is doing G1 Rise of the Beast t-shirts, hoodies, and caps. So I don't know if you want some G1 clothes, they're coming. If you want some Rise of the Beast clothes, they coming. What else do we have here? Newage showed off their Hound, who looks really beautiful. I mean, again, it's a Legends class, Newage typical size Hound. They also showed off the Shattered Glass Hound repaint, the bearded Detritus or Detrius. I've never understood exactly how that's pronounced. Detritus? Detrius? I don't know. But it's that guy. He has new head sculpt. The Shattered Glass, he has a couple of new parts, I do believe. And the Jurassic Park repaint of him. Because, of course, why not do a Jurassic Park crossover with that Jeep, right? Looks great. Looks super articulated. Either you like Newage or you don't at this point. We saw a bunch of model kits that are going to be coming from Buluk. And these are Rise of the Beast kits, basically. we have that come with backdrops, by the way. We have Optimus Prime Bumblebee, Scourge, Optimus Primal, both in ape and bot mode. And there are going to be G1 Baluk model kits for Megatron, Ratchet Jazz, with his door wings, by the way, Optimus Prime Skywarp, Thundercracker, Ironhide, Prowl Blue Streak. All of them about 10 centimeters tall. And while I would not at all say that they're like super deformed or anything like that, there is something about their proportions that's a little, I don't know, chunky or something. I gotta hold on. I gotta get rid of this. There you go. Enough of that. Enough of that. I don't even know who that was that came in there, but I'm not wasting my time. They don't even need to be around the channel. I still need to get the T30 Springer for my records display. Sorry, guys. Was AFK. What? It froze once, but it's fine again. Okay. Did I hear the cut content that showed that Scourge was more or less unwilling serving Unicron? No, but here's the thing. We'll get to that. I didn't hear about that. But that's interesting. Scourge is like a loyal servant to Unicron, as Sideways is, kind of. Rise of the Beast knocked Dark of the Moon out of first place. Same here, Mike. Oh yeah, look at that. I don't know what that VR thing was. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I can get rid of that. Thanks. I like the theorizing too that we can do with what's to come. You're right. Nightbird was a great character. Absolutely, she was. Keep spamming the cannon out the chat. You got it, buddy. You got it. All right. So as we keep going here, so that was a whole bunch of model kits. If you're in for them, they're small model kits. They're cute. What else do we have here? My pen. Ultimate Optimus Primal. The dude is big with a very simple transformation. Very, very similar to the original Optimus Primal from the 90s. Not the same, but very, very similar. He is due out, I guess in Japan, July 15th. So only in a few weeks, really. Rise of the Beast, sequel green lit. Look, was there ever a doubt? Here's the thing. Let's talk about this for just a second. And I'm not going to belabor it because I gave my feelings on it last week. And now this week, I've heard a lot of people say a lot of mistaken things, I think. And they've been very critical of this film. First things first, hands down, this is the absolute best live action, technically live action film they've done. I'm not going to say it's the most exciting or got the biggest explosions or got the most heart, because some people will prefer the Bayverse explosions. Like I love the grandiose nature of the battle scene in Dark of the Moon, even though it's just crazy. I felt the whole battle scene in China with all of those Viacons in Age of Extinction served no real point. It was just done. Let's not talk about the last night. And honestly, when people complain about things like, oh, the Terrorcons don't have much character. Did you watch the first live action film? Because the Decepticons have none. The most character in the first live action film is when Megatron finally wakes up and he asks something to Starscream, and Starscream says, no, not right now, Megatron, or something like that. I can't remember the lines. And Megatron says, I see. So you failed me as usual, Starscream. And it took a few movies to develop those characters. And I think people are expecting too much too soon from one movie. Let's be realistic. If you have paid any attention to anything that the director has said or that the producer has said, there is no intent for this to be a one and done film. It does not follow, because people have been like, how does this follow on from The Last Night? It's in 1994. The Last Night is in 2017. This doesn't follow on from it. It follows on from Bumblebee. It's even said in the film that they've been here on Earth. Earth is a fallback position. And they've been now stuck here for 7 years. People are like, Optimus seems grouchy and stuff. Yes, because he fell back for 7 years, got no way to get home, and he feels like a failure. That's why Optimus is the way he is. My point is this. I went into this film all along knowing that the beasts are just being introduced. People have said, no Rat Trap, no Dinobot, it's bad. I'm willing to bet that they didn't want to put all the beasts in here so that we as fans can get excited about the next film because maybe they'll introduce them there. Same with the Predacons. Unicron, people said, criticisms have been, Unicron's not really beaten though. Duh, because he's their Thanos. He's not going to be beaten quickly. This was meant to introduce him. I'm even willing to bet that we're going to learn more about Scourge's background and the Terracon's background, because I'm willing to bet that all of them at one time or another was somebody else. Just like Tarn was somebody else, I bet you Scourge was somebody else. And when they take off his mask and you see his mangled face, we don't know who it is. I bet you we're going to learn more about him. I don't think we're done with the Terracons, Unicron, or the Beast, not by a long shot. I think this, much like is going to happen with the new comic series, is long-term storytelling. Settle back, strap yourself in, because I think that this was only chapter 1. And if you go back and you look for holes, you won't find them. The storyboarding, the flow of events, you will not find holes. And if you do have questions left over, ask yourself, was it even supposed to be answered here? Because if it wasn't, then that's probably going to be addressed in the next film or the one after that. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. Put this in the context that I think this film should be in. And I think you're going to enjoy it an awful, awful lot more. That's my take on that. I'm happy to know that the sequel is greenlit because I think it absolutely should be greenlit 150%. Let's just check in with you guys real quick here again. And I know it's not much here. Late to comment. I'm cooking. I'm all about G1 Hound. I was a science nerd. Even got a PhD in neuro. Wow. I always considered Hound my spirit transformer. That's the way Starscream might feels about Starscream. I prefer yours. I like Hound. To be fair, how much transforming can you do with a monkey to a robot? I don't know. I mean, you're right. How much transforming can you do from a monkey to a robot? But when I see the Ultimate one, I'm like, this is heavily the 90s one. Very heavily the 90s one. That doesn't make it a bad thing at all. It's just, if you know the 90s one, I think you'll be able to transform this one without any instructions. I don't think you're going to need it. Let's see. Bless me. Bless me again. Hey, Mark. Yeah, we have 2 more movies. Like, I mean, we've seen a hint of Unicron. We've seen him eat a planet, but we haven't seen his whole body. We've seen like behind his eyes. Some people said, well, how did that like altar thing come up near the end? Well, they had the key that activated the energon that caused that to go up. Plus, you're not just dealing with artifacts, you're not just dealing with powers, you're dealing with now, really, when it comes to the Transformers universe, you're dealing with their version of the devil. So it's that God level power. And you got to put it in that context. That's like some people said, the pacing seemed real fast. Things that they should have been happy about, they didn't take the time to appreciate. And things they should have been mourning, they didn't take the time to mourn. You got the devil coming to eat your planet and then eat the next planet and continue eating planets. If you don't stop him, that's urgent. You can cry later on and you could smile later on. For now, you got to keep eyes on the prize. I think the pacing was perfect for the urgency of the situation. Okay, let's get going again. We haven't got a lot of news left, but we do have a bit. Let's talk about the Buzzworthy Bumblebee stuff, specifically the Troop multi-pack. So I love that they have another Alicon in there who in essence has the like modified shoulder spikes and whatnot, because it's really the Bailiff mold that came with the Pit of Judgment done now in regular Alicon colors. I would love to have that. He'd be the leader of my Alicons. Very simple. And I'm so happy that I now have Quintesson forces. So like having an Alicon, I'll say commander would be great. Or a couple of Alicon commanders, just saying. Or maybe they could be Bailiff's assistants, just saying. Then we have the Auto Trooper. I think that the use of the Siege mold is all right for that. I think it's an okay mold for it. Very interesting that there's a Kiss player's alternate head when it's from the animated universe. I mean, when did we expect anything from Kiss players? What a dark time that was. Then we have the Cyber. I like this one. We have a Cybertronian trooper, which is basically the Skullgrin mold, which I enjoy personally. But they are the troopers. If you know the comics, and I barely know the comics, but they are the troopers that really sort of work for flank G-Axis. And we had recently a wonderful G-Axis. To have a couple of those guards to be like G-Axis's like personal honor guard. Cool with that. Cool with that. And then of course we have another Seeker that for some reason everybody was saying, that's Thundercracker. No. The blue was never Thundercracker blue. Thundercracker blue is a little more, I don't know, there's like an underlying green hue tinge to it. This is like a very blue, a very kind of bright blue. Now, I do think they probably should have went with like a mint green or a lavender or something like that. But if you want to know explicitly where this blue Seeker comes from and what it is intended to reference, go back and watch the episode The Ultimate Doom. Apparently, it's a reference to the extra Seekers that were in the Ultimate Doom. So make of that what you will. We all know that in G1, while we had the main three and the Coneheads in season 2, in season 1, there's a bunch of Seekers, not just on Cybertron, but like there are times in the early episodes when there are all kinds of Seekers that have no names and they're just there doing battle and stuff. So I'm cool with it. Question is, do I want none of these troop builder packs or do I want 2 of these troop builder packs? I'm not sure yet. We'll see. We'll see how I feel as we go. That being said, some time ago I reported a multi-pack for $115.99 Canadian. I'm pretty sure it's this. And I think that that's a great price for it. 3 big, hefty deluxes and a Voyager. I think that that's a good price for it. Equally, I reported a multi-pack for $76.99 that I, right here on the channel, said, what could that be? It's a leader price, but it's a multi-pack? Wouldn't you know, that is the Dead Prowl and Dead Ironhide. And you'll remember, I called it for Ironhide. I said, we're going to get that Ironhide in Studio Series, and he is going to have solid colored windows instead of the dark translucent, and he's going to have his yellow stripe. Indeed, he has his yellow stripe, and indeed, he has a more solid red. But man, he has a grimacing face of horror death. And he has, of course, his chest all beat up, which is weird. I don't think it should be his chest beat up. As somebody pointed out, really, he should be headless, right? Not for me. And in his Vanette mode, you'll notice the very back windows are half painted light blue, and then the other half of the window is not painted. At least with the translucent, that back window is all translucent. I don't know. Same with the Prowl. Like, I thought that they were going to be individual releases as a 2-pack. I don't know. I think Balt Matrix said it best. I don't think I necessarily want to get something that causes me to relive one of my worst childhood traumas from, watching cartoons. And in terms of watching, people had a lot worse childhood traumas, but in terms of watching cartoons, that was certainly one of them for sure. I think they're great. And if you didn't get either of those molds, it might be worth picking up because I'm willing to bet that third party or toy hacks or something, I'm willing to bet that they're going to do something to fix all that up. I could be wrong. That's where my money's going. So of the 2 multi-packs, I personally prefer the Troop Builder pack. You might not. And we're getting a buzzworthy reissue of the Studio Series Age of Extinction Grimlock. Again, I don't know why. It looks exactly the same as the original release. And the original, I can't speak for where you live, but the original release here was on shelves for a couple of years. Like, it was the easiest thing in the world to get. Easiest thing in the world to get. June 16th, Treffle Red 1,000 piece Rise of the Beast puzzle giveaway with Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, Primal, and Cheetor. If you would like tomorrow to win 1,000 piece puzzle based on Rise of the Beast, then here's what you do. Here's how you enter. You go to Instagram and you like the post by Treffle, TREFL. I've never heard of this company, by the way. And answer this question. Who is the cheetah in Rise of the Beasts? Like the post, answer Cheetor, and you're entered to win a 1,000-piece puzzle. Not for me. I got nothing to do with this. But if you're in for it, go and check out Treffle on Instagram and do the thing, I guess. The draw for it's tomorrow. So if you haven't done it, you got tonight to do it. Just saying. Newage showed off their Shattered Glass Ratchet, which looks a lot like if you know what the Hasbro like deluxe Shattered Glass Ratchet looks like, then you know what the Newage one looks like because the coloring is the same. Retro Perceptor we talked about. And just like the Fortnite crossover, we now have a crossover with Rocket League. If you don't know what Rocket League is, it's basically playing soccer with cars, except now some of those cars will be Transformers. You got it, buddy. Specifically, Bumblebee and Optimus Prime, because who else you going to use, honestly, right? Who else you going to use? We already talked about the in-hand images of the Titan Nemesis. Magic Square showed off their Onslaught, who looks tremendous. He looks great next to the Magic Square Swindle and Brawl, all three of them very clean. The blue and the green on this guy look to be slightly off to me. Like they look brighter to me than they should be. Like maybe a tone or a shade brighter than they should be, but he looks splendid. Onslaught looks great, hyper articulated, and big backpack, but it makes sense, right? Because it's Onslaught, so it is what it is. Looks great. Go Magic Square, I guess. And Dr. Wu showed up. I love this. Their Micro Master Scaled Ultra Magnus armor. So we already have a like all white version of the Ultra Magnus done from their Optimus. Well, now you can get the armor that would go on him in two versions, animation accurate and of course toy accurate, right? And it goes on and it gives you the Ultra Magnus that we all know and love. Presumably, he's going to be kind of big for a Micromaster, but he's still going to be, I mean, when I say big, I think it's about 6 centimeters gear on him. Like he's not big, right? He's not big. Maybe the Optimus is 6 centimeters. They're tiny. The things are tiny. What was that? But they are cool. One last piece of news. I'm going to do it now. I'm going to do the trivia, check in with you guys, and then we'll do the unboxing and get out of here. The new listings for the week. So for Legacy Uni, we have in the deluxe line what seems to be Cyberverse Hotshot, even though we got a Cybertron Defense Hotshot in selects. I don't know if this is Cybertron Hotshot or Cyberverse Hotshot or what this is exactly, because it says Cyber Hotshot. I'm thinking another version of Cybertron Defense Hotshot, which I could see them taking another stab at with a whole new mold, because the last one they did, they used the Siege Hound mold for. Good enough for me because I'm not a Unicron Trilogy guy, and it was an excuse to have that mold. But if you're into the Unicron Trilogy stuff that they've been doing, and if you like the Hotshot they just put out, or even if you didn't, maybe this one will be more up your alley. Also, Rock 3. I don't know if they're doing Rock Lords or what, but I'm in for it, man. And a Strong Arm repack, which means we're going to be getting a Strong Arm presumably soon. Maybe it will be announced on the 20th. I don't know. But a repack in the Uni line? I don't know. We'll see. I'm excited for it, though. Then also, we're getting this one's very interesting, a Uni Leader Class Soundwave. I don't have a clue if this is a complete new mold. I don't know if it's going to be like the Netflix Soundwave with all of the cassettes. I don't know what it's going to be, but in Uni, we're getting, I don't even know if it's G1. I mean, maybe this is an animated Soundwave, or maybe this is a Transformers Prime Soundwave, or maybe it's a follow-up Cybertron Soundwave. I don't know, but a later Soundwave is coming in Legacy Uni. And then Studio Series, we have for the core class, Steeljaw. Man, please tell me it's a Steeljaw, the Going Blaster, because I don't have him, and I love me a Steeljaw. So yes, Steeljaw, excited about that. As well as 86 Springer, which we already talked about. Some exciting names there in different ways for different things. Some exciting names there, I gotta say. Let's do the trivia. This is simple trivia, I think, this week. I think this is simple trivia. Which badge does Rise of the Beast Scourge not have on him? He has a lot of badges on him as trophies of his victims. What badge does he not have anywhere on his body? Is it A, the Wreckers? Is it B, the Quintessons? Is it C, the Mercenaries? Or is it D, the good old Decepticons? Which one does he not have on him? A, Wreckers. B, Quintesson. C, Mercenary. D, Decepticon. I'm going to go up while you guys kind of answer there, and I'm going to see what you've been saying, and then we're going to do the unboxing and get the heck out of here. Let's see. True tons of Seekers in season 1. Even Starscream's twin brother. Yeah, that's right. I don't know what to think of the Dead Prowl and Ironhide. I already have them. See, I got them too, so I'm not getting it. But you guys have already seen. If you've seen my review of Ironhide, then you know, like, I've already cut his hip skirt and I put the yellow stripe on him. So it is what it is. Mine has a chest issue. I still don't think it's the greatest Ironhide. I love G1, but the mistakes were funny at the time. Absolutely. I'm sure I want to see them all packed up, or I'm not sure I want to see them all jacked up. I agree, man. A lot of people seem like they're skipping the Ironhide and Prowl, but that's up to you. Why don't they call it Trauma Pack? Ah, Sovereign says, why don't you call it Trauma Pack? Ultra Megatron says, honest trailer, Transformers the movie vibes. Yeah, right. I kind of want the Ironhide to swap out some of the clear plastics as Dragonfly. I could see that too. And I've thought about that Dragonfly, but a lot of him is pins. And you know me, I can't do pins. Please let Bayverse die, please. Why? I don't understand what all the hate is for Bayverse. I don't get what was wrong with it. I mean, you can't go into this thinking you're seeing Shakespeare. You're going in to see big robots clamoring around. They've all had tons of awful, awful editing. Just awful editing. Except for Rise of the Beast. The editing there is superb. And that's the difference. The editing is superb. And don't get me wrong, I've loved all 5. And I love Bumblebee. But all of them got their issues. Bumblebee could have been a half hour. You didn't need Charlie's buddy. You didn't need any of that junk on the beach when he's like a dog. It's stupid. You didn't need him bumbling and fumbling around the house. All that did for me was make Bumblebee look like a dope. That's all that did for me. It was fun. It has heart, and it has great kind of character interaction, and Charlie's development to where now she's not afraid of heights and she'll dive to save Bumblebee and stuff. Like, all of that was wonderful. But that hour and a half movie could have easily been a half hour, 45-minute story. Scene flash through. Yes, when I saw those guys, yeah, Joe's Transformers just says the scene flashed through my mind when I see those guys. Like, I look at that Prowl and I picture the smoke starting to come out of his mouth, right? Knight, that is a good name. Okay. I just want a clean G1 Prowl. That's fair. Happy with my Earthrise Prowl. Yeah, me too. Smoke guy, right? So we're down here a little bit. Transformers is crossing over with every game my 11-year-old brother plays, huh? Looks that way. Perhaps the dog looks that way, buddy. I never got the Earthrise one. That's fair. I found it ironic seeing Kristen Dunst in an 80s movie. I only knew her as Spider-Man and Hidden Figures. Oh, really? Interesting. Yeah, no, she's had a pretty long career, actually. If I'm right, Unicron devours the Bayverse, creating a dead universe, and is trapped there until the transwarp vortex happens. Apparently, he was beaten. Apparently, spoilers if they ever go back to it. Apparently, he did escape Earth after the last night, and whatever happened, he did get beaten. And that's why he's unhappy. So that's why he's gone back in time now, and he's trying to make sure he doesn't lose, basically. Let's see. AoE Steeljaw. I guess it could be an AoE Steeljaw. I hope not, though. Quins, B. Gonna, yeah, B. Oh, I see. We got a C there. E, Star Trek Communicator. Quins. Yeah, it's the Quintesson badge. Absolutely, it's the Quintesson badge. Hey, Mason. Yeah, meow. Oh, you're at Brookside. Oh, right on. Okay, well, that's fine. You can certainly think I'm weird. You're not the first person to think I'm weird, but I'm going to remove that. I thought I was American. Maybe you are American. Ironhide and Prowl figures are morbid. They are morbid. Stories could be a little less rinse and repeat. But like, here's the thing: people are like, stories could be a little less rinse and repeat. The problem is they keep rebooting it and rebooting it and rebooting it and rebooting it. So that's what you're going to get. I don't think anything should have ever been rebooted. You started something in 1984, and much like with other franchises, you should have continued that lineage, and that's not what they've done. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, by the way, the badges that are on him in the film is the Wreckers, the Wreckers, the Mercenaries, the Decepticons, the Autobots, the Maximals, the Predacons, and the Terrorcons, if you will. Okay, so the unboxing, and then we're going to get out of here. How do you sell toys without a reboot? I'm just saying you introduce new characters. Just throwing it out there. Just throwing it out there. Okay. Yeah, let's see what we got here. So the very first thing to know, I got two things tonight. The very first one is, it was unexpected, and I didn't think I was actually ever going to see it here at this point because it's been a while, but it is, and I was reluctant, but it was on sale, so that's why I got it. Studio Series 86 Wheelie. And to be fair, I still love the Titans Return. How will this guy stack up? We will see. However, having him out, he's better than I thought he was going to be honest with you. Not perfect, but he's better than I thought he was going to be. The other thing that I got this week, and I'm real happy about this because I actually really like this, is Nemesis Leo Prime or Lio Convoy, man. Oh, yeah. Some of you, of course, will, if you know Beast Wars 2, then you know him as Black Lio Convoy, and he was made with the copy machine on Gaia, which is Earth in the future, left there by, like, ancient civilization. We're the ancient civilization. Humans, us, now, we're the ancient civilization. And here is the Lion Boy. This, by the way, is the first version of Black Lio Convoy to get the colors right. Normally, they make his body black and they make his mane kind of the like grayish color. No. If you know the cartoon, his body should be the grayish color and his mane should be black. This dude has pupils. This dude doesn't have pupils. I'm going to have to put pupils on this guy because that's horrific without the pupils, especially when this guy got them. I mean, love these guys. This is going to be a review. Actually, both of them are going to be reviewed next week. And I'll say this. I'm really happy to have him because I have Nemesis Primal, I have Nemesis Prime, and now I have Nemesis Lio Convoy or Leo Prime. So yeah, Wheelie, Lio Convoy. They're going to be next week. Tomorrow, what's tomorrow's review going to be? Tomorrow's review is actually going to be a fun one because tomorrow's review is going to be, get this, we're going to go back in time since we've been doing the live action stuff. And it's what I meant to do a while ago. And it's actually going to be the 07 Voyager Blackout. And surprisingly, he's actually connected in a weird way to the Universe Blades that I reviewed about a week and a half ago. I was going to do the Blackout right after, but the KOs and then a couple of like Scourge was a whole thing, right? So the Universe Blades is in a weird way connected to the 07 movie Blackout. And I'll talk about that tomorrow. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get out of here. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys coming here. I appreciate you giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we have to offer to you through spring. And of course, you can hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. Please, man, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, stick around, have some fun with us here on the channel. But especially don't forget that somehow, some way, each and every single solitary day, you right there, you do make a difference in the world, man. And I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams on Thursday nights at the stop motion premieres. You know where this is going, or the old fashioned way right here inside the videos.